Hey everyone, Wayne here. Today we're going to start on a playthrough of Ostkrieg WW2 Eastern Front, designed by Mitchell Ledford, Gregory M. Smith, and published by Compass Games. This game has a solitaire component, a solitaire bot that guides your play. It is not an exact, hey, what exactly to do with every single move, but it is a pretty good guide, and I think that when you're playing in solitaire, for me anyway, it's definitely enough that it keeps me from just straight up playing both sides. Before I get any further in, I do want to thank everyone who has subscribed, everyone who's watching this video. If you're one of the 75% of my viewers who have not subscribed, please do so, just because that helps me, encourages me to create more content, cover more games. It assists me when I'm, requesting games to try to get more coverage of different games so you guys can watch them and play. So please subscribe, and then leave a comment below as well. I sure appreciate hearing from you guys. So let's see. So this game, Ostkrieg, I believe it was a 2019 game, so it's a recent game, fairly new. It came on the heels of Pacific Tide, which covered Pacific theater of World War II, using Gregory M. Smith's system. This game, I'm trying to think. So basically, I have it all set up right now for the standard or Barbarossa scenario, right? So starting 1941, and you can play through 1945. Beginning to the end. There's also another scenario in the game, in the book. I primarily just have played it just all the way through from beginning to end, just because I think it's the most fun to kind of play the Eastern Front from the beginning. Yeah, you know what you're going to get, right? You're going to get the Germans all set up. They have the majority. They're going to steamroll the Russians for a while. Russians, if they survive those initial, couple years, are probably going to build up and steamroll back. The way the game works here, as you can see, it is point-to-point movement. You have all these different units, which are primarily going to be, there's literally, I think, partisans? I think the Russians have partisans, so we'll grab one of those as well. So, hopefully, it's focusing on that for me. There we go. So you can see, just very simple. The units are going to basically be, that number is kind of their attack value. So we have infantry, we have armor, land, air. In the game, we keep calling it land, air. It's really just air. There's no sea air in this game. I assume difference between this and Pacific Tide. And then here's a partisan unit for the Soviets. Otherwise, the Soviets are the same with infantry, armor unit, land, air. They're the exact same. So the game is definitely not super in-depth on, say, different unit types, things like that. You're basically dealing with these aircraft, you're dealing with some armor, dealing with some infantry, abstracted out to just a number, however many basically the units you have, which that's okay. I mean, we're talking about a game that is that's play example, 10 pages of rules. I mean, it's not going to be super in depth. It's more of a, like I said, it's more of a broad game or strategic level, not digging into the dirt of what different types of aircraft, different types of armor. So some comments on that online, which kind of made me laugh, because did you look at the game? Did you play the game at all? I mean, it's clearly more of an abstracted view of the war as opposed to an in-depth view. I saw some comments when it came to some of the victory areas, looking at oil, the way oil should impact certain units. I mean, okay, starting to get into way too much chrome. This game does not have that level of chrome. So if you're looking for a super in-depth game, this game's probably not for you. But if you're looking for something that does feature the Eastern Front, simulates it in a broad level, more abstract level, you may be able to have some fun with this if you can just relax a little bit. So, all right. So like I said, it is point-to-point movement, as you can see on here. So all the different areas, whether you're talking about Moscow, Berlin over here, Stalingrad, Leningrad, whatever. What you're doing, it is card-based, card-activated. So say this, we have all set up here, and what you do, and we'll get into the game. Like I said, we're going to do a playthrough here. Certainly the first year, 1941, depending on how it goes, I may do more. We'll see. But basically, it'll be card play. So say you have these cards. You have German and Soviet cards. Say as the Germans, you go ahead and you start off. And as the Germans in 1941, you do go first, and you play your Major Blitz card. Let's take a look at the card here. So if you look up on the screen, you can see the card. Basically, what you're looking at is, obviously, it tells you what it is. It must be the first card played by the Axis in the Barbarossa scenario, so you are going to play this one first. Generally, after that, you play whatever you want. It says activate 3 areas for movement, attack 2 areas, then play another non-blitz card or pass card play to your opponent. All attacks roll 1 extra die. So this is a great start. Really simulates that initial blitzkrieg of the Axis of the Germans. So you're activating 3 areas for movement. You also get to attack 4 areas, and then you pick play another non-blitz card or pass card to your opponent. Activating areas for movement, super simple. Basically what you do is just pick an area, and if you want to, usually what it is if you got a bunch of different stuff going on, you have these chits that say either attack or move on them, and you can go ahead and use these, throw them down. If you're only activating one area at a time, sometimes clearly then I don't use them at all, but say like this, where it says in this major blitz card, you're activating 3 areas for movement, you're probably going to want to, so maybe you're going to see, hey, go ahead and place one down, Berlin, it's got a little arrow on it, says move. Place it down in Berlin, place it down in Ploesti here, place it down on, let's see, Narvik. Okay, and then you're going to go ahead and you're going to move those areas up to whatever their movement is, which is infantry is 1, armor and aircraft can move 2, although aircraft can move double their printed movement, which is the printed movement is that little number on the side. Again, they're all the same though, so they're all that, they're all exactly like that. 1, 1 and then a 2 movement. But what you can do is you can move them double, but then you just flip them over to their move side. It has a little airfield on there, which basically means you obviously cannot use them during an attack. So you're going to go ahead and move. Once you run through the movements, finish and pick up each one when you're done. Super simple. That's why I'm not, and every area costs the same. It's just basically, if you have 2 movement or 1 movement, you just move 1 area. You're not taking terrain into effect. It's another complaint I saw online is people were upset that they didn't have terrain. Well, again, it's strategic, abstracted with 10 pages of rules. Like terrain was not a huge factor at this level where you're playing a handful of cards and then the entire year is done. Anyway, so then you do attacks. So we had our activate 3 areas, attack 4 areas. So what you do, so when you're picking movement, you pick your own area, right? Not area is going to move. Now when it comes to attack, we take our little chits, and what we would do is we actually pick the target areas we're going to attack. And what you can do, so say we're like, okay, and apologies for my pronunciation on some of these, be all stock here, attack. You put the little arrow pointing it, and now we know what any adjacent friendly units of ours we can attack with. Now, it's beginning, so we only have some units here in Königsberg, so we'll only be able to attack from there. Okay. Go ahead and attack Brest, which, again, we can see any adjacent units. Again, we only have some units here in Warsaw, so we'll only be attacking with them, so on and so forth. I'm not going to get into the attack mechanics. I want you to see it when we actually start playing, because I don't want to do kind of a quick overview, like a 10-minute overview here. So that's combat. When you're done with, and you play your card, and so obviously with this card, it says play another non-blitz card or pass. Now, odds are we'd play another card. As the Germans, we're going to want to find another one from our hand. We've got our hand of cards. Starting off, the first, they all say, and they see 1941, the bottom right here, bottom left. And we're going to find another one that's non-blitz to play. Odds are that's what we're going to do. So after we're all done, so after we played our cards that we're allowed to play, we're going to say, okay, it's the Soviet Union's turn. Passes to them. Now I'm having the Solitaire bot play the Soviet Union. And what it is bot has a personality. You can see it. There's a little spot here printed on the board. And there's either A, B, or D. A is for aggressive, B is balanced, or D is defensive. It automatically starts off the Russians as a D. Later on, you start rolling to see if they change their personality, basically, and then that determines what cards they're going to play. The way the rules are written, you have a Solitaire aid card here, Solitaire play aid card here that has the rules. Very simple. We talked about the aggressive, balanced, defensive, rolling on that, depending on what year it is. Starting off with 1941, Soviets are defensive. It tells you the card play priority, which honestly is super simple. Whatever you are, ABD is the cards. Have it on the bottom there. So you can see a D, defensive cards, B for balanced cards, A for aggressive cards. You go ahead and that determines what you're going to play. You're basically drawing them randomly, choosing whatever has the appropriate letter on the bottom. Later on, you do the card purchase, which that comes in between the years. and then the priorities of what they're going to do. So say you're playing your cards as the Soviets. Well, in 1941, your main goal, retake Moscow and Leningrad. Starting in 1942, you start having different goals. Entrenching areas, taking back the different cities, etc., etc. Whether it's in your areas or to the point where you're trying to, in 1945, take Berlin, recapture, entrench, etc. So that is a quick overview of how the game plays. Now let's go ahead and dive in. All right, let's dive in here. We are ready to roll. So we have the game all set up. 1941, Germans are launching the Blitzkrieg. They get to go first. Draw their first card. Scenario rules state you play Major Blitz first. So that's what we're going to do. Activate 3 areas for movement. Attack 4 areas. Play another non-blitz card or pass. We're definitely playing another non-blitz card. So let's activate 3 areas for movement. I'll go ahead and I'll set the card right here. Go ahead and get our little chits out here. All right, let's go ahead. Let's do Berlin for 1. Let's do the Ploesti down here in Romania, I believe. Yep. And Galati here, movement as well. So, all right, let's go ahead and start with the movement. Berlin here. What do we have? We have a land air, we have a tank, 2 of them, and we have 3 infantry. So, what we're going to go ahead. Infantry, we'll move him to Danzig. He can only move 1 area. The armor, we can move him 2 areas. We're going to move him to Königsberg here. He can join the forces there. Build up that little army. As well as the land air in Berlin. Go ahead and move him to Königsberg as well. So he'll join the forces there. We'll build up. So let's go ahead and remove that marker. Second movement area, Ploesti here. Let's see, where do we want to move him? Let's move him to Jassy here. Yeah, let's move him there. So, Bucharest to Jassy, and he'll be able to stay. Now, special scenario rules: we cannot attack with from Jassy or from Cluj, however you want to pronounce it, on the first card play. So we do have to wait till at least the second card, but that's okay. That's okay. All right, and for the last movement, from Galati here, we activated. I'm going to go ahead and move. There's 2 Romanian infantry here. Go ahead and move them up to Jassy as well. Boom. All right. Okay, that's it for the movement. Now we have activate 4 areas. Attack 4 areas. So let's grab all of our guys again. Let's go ahead and choose for attack. Bolostok, Brest, Lvov, Lvovi. I can't pronounce half these. I'm sorry. To all of my Russian viewers, my apologies. I cannot pronounce these names. To my Russian and Eastern European viewers, there's probably a couple of you out there, but I am so sorry I cannot pronounce them. So, I think that's it actually, because we can't attack from Cluj here. We can't attack from Jassy, so we can't attack Odessa. Nowhere else is really available. So I think we're gonna have to pass up on our 4th attack there, though. So, okay, yeah, we're just gonna do that. Okay, perfect. All right, let's go ahead and start at the top. That's what I like to do, just make it simple. Start at the, kind of the top of the map and work my way down. So we'll do Bolostok, Brest, and Lvov. So what we'll do is Bolostok, attacking it first. We go ahead and look at the units there, and we'll go ahead and look at our units. And what I like to do is spread them out a little bit. Now we can really see what you got going on. Okay, super simple here. So we have our units here at Königsberg attacking Bolostok. They have 2 infantry and 1 tank, 1 armor it's called. We're gonna have our 3 infantry. We have 4 armor, and then we have 3 land air. What you first look at is the air. Who has air superiority? We have 3 land air, or just air. We'll call it air. We have 3 air. They have none, which means we have air superiority. So for combat, that's 1 die. That counts as 1 die. This is kind of a bucketed dice style of combat, as you'll see here in minutes. Second, we look at the armor. Now we have 4 armor. They have 1, which means we have the armor advantage. So we get another die. Okay. And then what we do we look at just the total land combat value or attack value. How many combat units are there for land? So remember our 3 infantry and then 4 tank, so a total of 7. Now 7 for the Axis, there's a little chart. It's super easy. Basically for the Axis, you divide by 2. So our 7 divided by 2 would be 3.5, and then any fractions you round up, it goes to 4. So we're going to add in 4 more dice. And then, if you recall, the Major Blitz card, all attacks roll 1 extra die. So technically we get 7 dice. I only have 6 here for the Germans, so we're going to have to try to remember to roll 1 more die. Okay. Now for the Soviets, go ahead. They have the 2 infantry. Once again, we're looking at land. They have no aircraft anyway. So it'll be a total of 3. And then for the Soviets in 1941, you divide by 6. So the 3 divided by 6, obviously, is just 1/2. They do get to round up. As all fractions do, we round up. So they get 1 die. So the Germans roll 7. Soviets get 1. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and roll them all together. See how many hits we get here. Oh, the Soviets did get a hit with their... So the Germans, none of these are hits. You hit on a 4, 5, or 6. So as you can see, right now the Axis got 2 hits. Soviet got 1. I'll go ahead and roll that. Remember, we got an extra die. A 4, so that was a hit. So good for them. So it'll be 3 hits and 1 hit. And basically the hits are, you just eliminate that many units. For each hit, you eliminate a unit. A ground unit, I should say. So as the Axis, we're going to go ahead and be able to eliminate 3 units, which they only had 3 units, so all of them will be eliminated. Now as the Soviets, they get to eliminate 1 German unit. They rolled a 5, so it'll be whatever unit as the Germans get to pick. So I'm going to go ahead, obviously, and get rid of an infantry, because, not as valuable as armor, right? Now if I had rolled a 6... either side, which doesn't matter, German or Soviets. If you roll a 6, it has to come away from armor first, and if there's no armor, it has to come away from an aircraft for a second. And if there's no armor or aircraft, well, just infantry as usual. So, just to show you that if it's kind of a more potent attack. All right. So went ahead, we got all of our guys taken out, and then what we can do is we can advance after combat, which we certainly will. We're going to advance everybody to Vostok. Except, if I can get them moved, so you do a little mess around with stacks of chits here. If you notice, remember, we had 3 aircraft. The way the stacking works in this game, you can stack 12 land units, so 12 strength worth of land units, and then in a non-victory point area, so all these just yellow areas here, you can stack 2 aircraft. However, when you have a VP area, victory point area, with the red name, you can stack 4. We had 3, so we have to leave 1 behind in Königsberg. Bummer. That's okay, though. All right, let's go ahead and do the second attack. We're attacking Brest. We are attacking, now remember, it's any adjacent. However, we just didn't attack. They moved from Königsberg here, so really we can't use the units that are in Vostok yet. We have to wait. So we're attacking from Warsaw. All right, so same things before. Look at how many aircraft we have. Look at our tanks. And then look at our infantry compared to what they got. So, once again, we look at start off with our aircraft. They have no aircraft. We have, well, at least 1. So we have air superiority. So that's 1 die. We have 3 armor. They have 1. So we have armor advantage. That's another die. And then go ahead and look at our actual combat strength. So 9 infantry and 3 tanks. So a total of 12. 12 divided by 2 is 6. So 6 more dice. So here's 4 more. Plus 2 more. Plus... so we'll have 2 more and plus 1, remember, because of our major blitz. So we'll actually have a total of 3 more. So remember that. We have to roll 3 more. And then the Soviets, they just have the 3 divided by 6. A half. Becomes 1. Round up to 1. So let's go ahead. Let's do their 1 first. A 4, so they do get a hit. So the Soviets do get a hit. Now go ahead and roll these guys. So 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. We don't have to roll any more. Remember, we had multiple more dice to roll. However, we already have 4 hits. They only have 3 units, so we're going to annihilate all their units, so it doesn't matter anyway. And their 4 damages whatever one we choose. So we're going to go ahead and let's get rid of this. It's 4 infantry. So I tried to pick it up with that. That didn't work too well. Yeah, that's what we'll do. So we lost our 1. We'll just go ahead and take away an infantry. They lose all their guys there. Bummer. And we're going to go ahead and advance from Warsaw into Brest. And remember, let's see, because I think we have 3 aircraft. We can only bring 2 with because of the stacking limits. Other than that, we are good on the land units. All right, so for our final attack, we'll attack Lvov here from Krakow. Very similar to the other ones. We're going to have our air. We're going to have some tanks. We're going to have some infantry. There's going to have infantry and tank there. So go ahead and look at the aircraft. Yep, we have an air advantage. Let's get all these out of here. There's a definitely bucketed dice style, so you're doing a lot of dice rolling. It's fun, though. I like it. All right, so 1 die for the air advantage, air superiority. Armor advantage, 2 armor to 1. So, yep, we have armor advantage, so we get 1 there. And then we go ahead and look at our total. 3, 2, total of 5, divided by 2 is 2.5. Round up to 3. So we get 3 more dice, plus 1 more because of our major blitz. Get that plus 1 die. And then the Soviets, 3 divided by 6. Yeah, they start off, by later on they get, divided by 5, then divided by 4, then divided by 3. But it starts off, their forces aren't as effective. And that shows you the differences. That's how they abstract, the difference in, say, the German armor, German infantry to start versus Soviets. And it's like, well, how come they're all the same number? That's kind of lame. Well, they abstract it out by using dice, the divider, the multiplier, where, the forces just aren't as effective for the Soviets to start with. So, anyway, it's 3, so again, half up to 1. So, let's roll them all at once. All right, again, the Soviets do get a hit, and here we go. So the Germans get 2 hits, Soviets get 1 hit. So, the Germans, we're going to go ahead and take away an infantry. And the Soviets, they took 2 hits. However, and this is interesting, none of them were 6, and it's 2 hits, they had 3 units. So what they're going to be able to do, so they'll take their 2 hits and their 2 infantry, their armor is going to survive, and he's going to go ahead and retreat, obviously. And he's going to retreat to Robno. He'll flee out of there. Whoop. And we're going to go ahead and move in. We should be able to do, yep, we only had the 2 aircraft, so we're going to do all of our guys. We're going to go ahead and move everybody in here. So, all right, that was the attacking. Remember, we could attack up to 4. We chose to attack 3 areas. So the major blitz card is done. However, we also have play another non-blitz card or pass. We're going to play another non-blitz card. What I'm going to do, let's see. I think what we want to do here. And like I said, we have all of our cards, so it could take a minute to kind of look through and decide what you want to do. Let's do German reserves. We'll just play that one. So what that is, activate 1 area for movement, place 3 German infantry, 1 German armor, 1 German land area in Berlin. So 1 area for movement. So let's go ahead and, because we do 1, I'm not even going to use the little chits for it because I think we can figure it out. Let's go ahead and activate Danzig here. We'll move these guys up to Königsberg. Perfect. And now place 3 German infantry, 1 German armor, and 1 land air in Berlin. All right. And that is it for the German turn. You have a discard pile. And go ahead, and then you go ahead and go over to the Russians in their turn. All right. So the Russian turn here. What you do normally with the Solitaire bot is we're going to do flip 3 cards, face up from the bot hand. If only one is the same as plan, play it, blah, blah, blah. I'll show you how to do that. In the rule book, it then mentions something about in 1941 doing all of them face up at once. Not sure why. So I don't do that. I just do what basically the game suggests for the general overview, which is, so you have your hand of cards, 1941 cards for the Russians. Go ahead and you draw 3 of them. Place them out and look for whatever, first off, would have your letter on it. So in this case would be Rasputitsa, which is the mud, basically, the Russian mud or whatever, because it has a D there, see? However, play only if there are 3 or less cards in the Axis hand. Maybe that's why you're supposed to play them all at once. But anyway, like I said, later on, I know you're supposed to do it this way. We can't play that one because there are significantly more than 3 cards left in the Axis hand. So it'd have to be one of these 2, either Siberian Reserves or Leningrad Reserves, and that's okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and put this one. You won't discard it, you just set it at the bottom of the draw pile over here. I'm going to play one of these 2. We'll do odds and evens. Let's roll for it. Get all these other dice out of here. So, odd, even. So, odd. So we'll play Siberian Reserves. Again, Leningrad Reserves will just go to the corner here. So Siberian Reserves. Activate 2 areas for movement. In 1941, place 6 Soviet infantry in Kazan. In 1942 or later, place 2 Soviet armor and 2 Soviet land air. Just to show that initially it's just, infantry coming in. So activate 2 areas for movement. Now, we'll go ahead and we can look at our priorities here. For the Soviets in 1941, retake Moscow and Leningrad. Now, the Axis have not taken Leningrad, have not taken Moscow. So it's kind of like, okay, so now you're making the decision for the bot, what you're going to do. So that is the downside of, hey, sometimes what it tells you to do doesn't really apply. So it's like, well, what do I do then? Now, I like to do is just, what does that imply, right? You're trying to take Moscow. It says take back Moscow, takes back Leningrad. So maybe reinforcing them, maybe making sure that, hey, some of these units that are back here can move up and get closer to the front. I think that's pretty easily to decide, right? So what we're going to do as the Russians here, we're going to activate Kazan here because I know they have 5 infantry there. And we'll go ahead and activate Kuybyshev with 1. So both of these. So Kazan, let's go ahead and move these 5 to Gorky. So we're going to activate 2 units, or 2 areas, excuse me. And then Kuybyshev, go ahead and move them to Penza. Alright, so those are 2 areas for movement. And now in 1941, place 6 Soviet infantry in Kazan. So, ahead 5 and 6. Perfect. All right, and that is it for the Russians. Now that you would discard. You have a discard pile, and later on, those discard piles which you can buy cards from. So, all right, that's it for the Russians. Now it's back to the German turn. So, as the Germans, you have the entire hand to play from. What I do, and this is not in the rules, so if you play by the rules, whenever you're playing one side, the bot's playing the other. Yes, the bot does pick kind of based on what their personality and all that stuff is. When I play, for me, just to limit myself, so I'm not overpowering the bot too easily, I go ahead. I kind of do what I do with them, otherwise, but I pick my own card. What I mean by that is I have all the cards that I'm playing, my quote unquote hand. I just draw 3, look at them. And now I ignore the bottom because that's for the bot. But I just decide based on those 3 what I can do. Which in this case, we're definitely going to do the Blitz. Yep, let's go ahead and do Blitz, Manstein's Blitz. So we're gonna play that card. And it allows us to play another non-Blitz card, which probably do air builds here. So, yep. We're going to place this one back under the deck again. Not discarded, just place under the deck here. Check something on the camera. Okay, yep. All right, okay, so. Blitz. Activate 3 areas for movement, attack 3 areas, play another non-Blitz card. Hopefully you guys can see that. Pretty simple. Let's go ahead for our movement. I don't even know if we'll have 3. Let's see. Berlin, obviously, we got those guys. We're going to move them up. Warsaw. Actually, Königsberg as well. And then let's go ahead and move our guys at Cluj here. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so let's go ahead and do Königsberg first. And how many can we move? We can't move the aircraft there. Bummer. But we can move that infantry into stock. Perfect. They needed it. They only had 2 infantry there, so we need to bump those numbers up, bump those forces up. All right, so that was the 1 move. Well, and then I guess our aircraft here, Königsberg. He'll just sit tight. There's really nothing he can do. nowhere for him to go, I mean. So he'll sit tight there. Berlin, we have, let's go ahead and move the infantry to Danzig, move that tank up to Königsberg, and then same with this aircraft, land air, we'll move him to Königsberg. Basically, we're stockpiling aircraft near the front. They're just not, there's not really airfields for them. So, all right. And then Cluj down here. Let's go ahead. Actually, wait a second. Because there's rules for Hungarians. Hungarians may never move or retreat into Romania and area with Romanian units. Hungarians and Romanians may not be used in the same attack. Well, that's okay. Just got to keep the Romanians, which are right here, separate. But we can still send them into battle. So the Romanians here, or excuse me, the Hungarians, are going to go ahead and send them up here to Lvov. And they'll join our German infantry there. Perfect. Okay. That was it for our 3 movement. Now we can attack 3 areas. Let's see. Well, I definitely... Oh, I should have moved there. Oh, man. Oh, I was thinking... Minsk was open. I should have moved in. Thing close in on Moscow. Rookie mistake here. That's all right. So what we're going to do is for attack, we'll go ahead and use a little markers. Attack, we're going to attack Riga up here with our force in Blastok. We're going to attack Rovno with our forces here in Lvov. And we'll attack Odessa here with our forces in Jassy. So, yeah, that'll work. That'll work. And I got a plan. We'll do that. I think we'll do that movement later. I got a plan, guys. Don't worry. All right, so Riga, let's go ahead and do that one first. Super simple here because there's not a lot of Russian units. So we have our aircraft, we have our tanks, and then we have a bunch of infantry. They have, we're taking here to here, they have no aircraft. So we get our armor advantage, or excuse me, air superiority. They have no tanks, no armor, so we get armor advantage. There's another die. Now we go ahead and look at our actual units. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 divided by 2 is 4.5. Round up to 5, so we get 5 dice. There's 4. So remember, we'll get 1 more when we're done rolling. They have 2 divided by 6, so not good. It's at 0.3, 0.33. But round up to 1 die, so they get to roll 1. Go ahead and roll for them. Ooh, they get a hit. All right, good for them. All right, we'll roll all these, and if we don't get 2 hits, we'll roll 1 more because that's what we're due. But if we get at least 2 hits, it doesn't matter. Yep, we got 3 hits, so we're gonna go ahead and eliminate both of those units, Russian units. But remember, they got a hit on us, so let's go ahead and reduce this German infantry from a 3 to a 2. All right, stack them back up here. I know, playing with stacks of counters, definitely the best part of watching a video, right, guys? And we will go ahead and advance after combat, obviously, and we'll advance up here to Riga. Perfect. All right, now we'll do our attack here in Rovno. They do actually have that armor because they were retreated, but I believe we have more. So 2 aircraft, 2 armor, and then we have our 4 infantry, 2 Hungarians, 2 Germans. Go ahead and do our air. No air comparison whatsoever. However, all right, so what we'll do is we will, the Soviets will support their defense of Rovno with their aircraft in Kiev. So what they'll do is basically he comes flying in. He moves there, and then he supports the defense. Unfortunately, it's only one of them. And so what happens is you have what they call an air-to-air combat. You automatically eliminate an equal amount of aircraft and see what's left. So we had 2 Germans, 1 Russian. So go ahead and eliminate 1 of the Germans for 1 of the Russians. So it's 1 for 1. And boom, now we see what's left over. 1 German air, no Russian air. Okay, so now we do air superiority. Germans get 1 die because they have 1 versus the Soviets having none. Armor, it's 2 armor for the Axis, 1 for the Russians. So we have armor advantage. And then we look at our infantry. We do our usual, let's see, 2, 3, 4. 4 divided by 2 is 2, so we get 2 more dice. So we only have to roll 4 here, so not that many. And then for the Russians, they have 3 land divided by 6, so 0.5, so they get to roll 1. So let's see. All right, so we got 3 hits, and they got 1 hit. They always get their hit in, though. we're going to go ahead and take their hit away from our Hungarian infantry. Sorry, guys. Let's get rid of them. And then we have 3 hits, which will be all 3 of their units. Let's go ahead and advance after combat. We're going to go ahead and advance everybody up to Rovno here. We definitely want to start moving up here. All right. And our last attack, we're attacking Odessa. They have land, air, and 3 infantry. We have a land, air, and a bunch of infantry. So this would be one where we may not do as well as I was thinking we would. So let's go ahead. First thing, we compare aircraft, 1 for 1. So we go ahead and eliminate 1 German aircraft, 1 Russian aircraft. So now we're left with no aircraft on either side. There's also no armor on either side. So there's no air. Normally we're used to seeing our Germans here have air superiority, armor advantage. They don't get dice for any of those. All they have are infantry. So 2, 3, 4, 5 divided by 2 is 2.5. Round up to 3, so they get 3 dice. And the Russians have 3 divided by 6. Rounds up to 1. All right. Okay, well, so it's 6 versus 4, or well, it's not 6 versus 4, but the Russians get 1 hit with a 6. Germans get 1 hit with a 4. So what we're going to do, go ahead and let's remove one of these Romanian infantry. And let's go ahead and knock down these Russian infantry, so it's to 2. That's our attack. So they each took 1, basically lost 1 unit. And then what we do is that normally when an attacker inflicts more hits, then the defender has to retreat. If it's a tie, the Axis get to choose what they want to do, and they win ties. And so the Axis are going to go ahead and say, yep, we're taking that Odessa here, so you need to go ahead and retreat. So the Russian unit's going to go ahead and retreat up to Naprotsarovsk, whatever that is, a long one there. And the Axis is going to go ahead and move in from Odessa. Now, this is the first time that we have taken a Russian... I see one other thing here, so hang on a second. First of all, this is the first time we've taken a Russian victory point area, the red area, see? So what we're going to do is we get to go ahead and knock down the Russian build points over here from 16 to 15. And then we also noticed here Lvov, we had taken over that, we had moved in there, and now we moved past it. So, and Belostok as well. So what we're going to do is we have our control markers. Go ahead and place a couple of these down. They don't affect victory points. They just show you that, hey, the German units, we took those, they were, initially Russian. However, we took them over. Therefore, now it's the Germans control them. So, all right. I think that's it for you. That's it for what we had planned with our Blitz Manstein card. Playing the non-Blitz card, we're definitely going to do that. And we have our card chosen, the air builds. Activate 1 area for movement, place 1 German land air in Berlin. So activating 1 area for movement. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and activate our units here that were in Brest for movement. So we're going to go ahead and move all of them up to Minsk here. Same dealio as before, since we left behind a formerly Soviet area. Go ahead and put one of our control markers there. Perfect. Okay, now we can place 1 German land area in Berlin. We will do that. And that's it for the Germans here. All right, over to the Russians. I'll go ahead and draw our 3. All right, so B, D, B. So look for the D first, because that's where we're on defensive personality. So go ahead and place both of these back. Redeployment. Move up to 5 units, any combination of infantry, armor, or air, any distance from any friendly controlled areas to any other friendly controlled areas within the Soviet Union without passing through enemy controlled areas. May not be used to entrench. So, with 5, I think what we're going to do is let's go ahead and remember our whole thing of either take back Moscow or Leningrad. Obviously, we can see the Germans are starting to encroach in on us. What we want to do, let's go ahead and reinforce, I think, Leningrad. So the 5 infantry here at Gorky, we can move them any distance thanks to the rails. We're going to move them up to Leningrad. Yeah, they can go ahead and reinforce Leningrad. So now we have 8 infantry and that land air here in Leningrad. So make it a little harder for when the Germans finally get here. Go ahead and discard that one. Now it's back over to the Germans. Germans. Go ahead and draw the top 3 here. Put them over. All right. Let's go ahead and do 1, 2. Okay, yeah, I see what I want to do here. So we'll play Blitz Hoth. So Blitz Guderian will go back in our hand. Let's play Blitz Hoth, and then Kampfengrufen, Gruppe, whatever. Again, sorry, can't pronounce any of this stuff. All right, so Blitz Hoth, activate 3 areas for movement, and the reason I picked this other card as well is because we'll play another non-Blitz card, and that's what we'll play. So activate 3 areas for movement. We need to get some of these units up front here. Let's go ahead and do Königsberg, Warsaw, and Danzig here. Yeah, let's do that. All right, so okay, perfect. So we're activating Warsaw for movement. What we're gonna do? Go ahead and move him 1, 2. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Move him to Odessa. Because he moved more than 2, he's gonna have to use his like strategic movement, which means he's flipped over to move side. Bummer. That's okay though. All right, movement here in Königsberg. We lost some aircraft somewhere, didn't we? Let's see what we got here. No. Oh, down here in Rovno or whatever. So let's go ahead and move. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Okay, it'll have to be 3. So it'll be strategic movement over here. Bummer. Another one. You know, do Odessa maybe? What do you think? Yeah, let's do that. Well, attack up here too. So I see. Let's go ahead and just move him here. Vostok. To hold still. Basically reserves. Again, he's getting a little closer because I know we're going to need him for Leningrad. And then the last tank here in Königsberg. Let's go ahead. He can move 2, so we'll go ahead and move him up to Riga here to reinforce. You know, it's going to be a slog up there. All right, and Danzig, the last one. Go ahead and move to Königsberg. So, all right, that's it for our movements. Yep, so now we have attacked 2 areas. So, definitely want to attack the whole Talon up here, moving our way towards Leningrad. And then we want to do an attack here on Smolensk. Right there. Perfect. Okay, those are our 2 attacks. So Talon, we'll do the one up here first. We have our 2 aircraft. We have a bunch of armor. Then we have our infantry here versus just 2 infantry. So we're going to stomp them. That's just the way it's going to be. That's okay. That's what the Russians get used to in the first year of the game, basically getting stomped on. And part of 1942 as well. So, all right, so we'll go ahead and look at our air. Yep, we have air superiority, so that's 1 die. We have the armor advantage. That's another die. And we have a total of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Divided by 2 is 4.5. Round up to 5. So here's 4 dice. We'll get 1 more. And they have just 2 infantry, so that's just going to be 1 die after you round up. So remember, we also get another die if we need it. But if we get 2 hits, whoa, it was a 6. Still counts. 1, 2, 3. So we eliminate them. But they got a 6. So not only did they get a hit, they got a 6, which means we have to take it away from our armor. Bummer for us. All right, but we still stomped them, so it is what it is. All right, so we have all of our guys here. Let's go ahead and advance after combat. Whoop. Go ahead and advance up to this little Talon area or whatever. Discard that. And then we'll go ahead and leave behind a little control marker just to show that we did control Riga. So, all right. Our other attack was Smolensk. Go ahead and attack there. They have, what is it, an armor, 2 infantry. We have 2 aircraft, 3 armor, and 8 infantry. So we have aircraft advantage, air superiority. Air superiority, so that's 1 die for us. Armor, we have 3 versus their 1, so we have armor advantage. And then we go ahead and look at, we have 8, 9, 10, 11. divided by 2. 5.5 rounded up to 6. So there's 4, so we get 2 more if we need it. And they have 3 divided by 6. They get 1 rounded up. So we get 2 more dice if we need them. 1 hit, 2 hits. We will. So they get no hits on theirs. We only ended up with 2 hits. So let's go ahead and win this. We had 2 more dice coming, right? If we needed them, well, we need them. We need at least 1 more. But we'd like it, I should say. Okay, we got 1 more hit. So we total 3 hits. So we'll go ahead and eliminate all their units, and they got no hits on us. So go ahead, put our guys all back together, a little stack back together. Here in Minsk, and then move to Smolensk. We'll advance after combat. Boom. And we'll go ahead and leave behind a little marker just to show that we control Minsk. So, all right, we are closing in on Moscow. All right, so let me think here. Okay. So that was our Blitz Hoth card. Go ahead and place that in discard pile. Remember, we get to do a non-blitz card. We chose Kampfgruppe. So, activate 1 area for movement, place 1 German armor in any area currently occupied by Axis, and then attack 1 area. So, for movement, we're going to go ahead and do... Let's go ahead and do in Smolensk here. We'll activate them for movement. Actually, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Okay. Yep, let's go ahead and move our troops from Smolensk. We're going to activate for movement. We're going to move them to this miasma here, which is right in front of Moscow. Place down a little control marker. Now we can place 1 German armor in any area currently occupied by Axis units, which we will definitely do. Our forces outside Moscow. And now, attack 1 area. We are going to attack Moscow itself. So, the Russians right now have 1 air, 1 armor, 5 infantry. We have 2 air, 4 armor, and 8 infantry. So start off, remember we look at the air. They had 1, we had 2. So 1 for 1. So 1 of theirs is eliminated. 1 of ours is eliminated. We're left with 1. So we have to go ahead and do, we have air superiority, so we get 1 die for that. We have 4 armor versus their 1, so we have armor advantage, so we get another die for that. And now we look at our total land, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we were maxed out on stacking anyway, so that's nice. It's 12 divided by 6, divided by 2 is 6. So here's 4, and then we'll get 2 more as well. Let's go ahead and just roll it. It's cocked. We roll it. That was a 2. It was not a 6. So I don't want to cheat here. All right. Axis have enough advantages. All right. So 3 hits. And then it gets to roll. What did I say? 2 more dice. Another hit. So it's 4 hits. Okay. 4 hits. And the Russians will get, let's see, 5, 6. So they still only, even with all that, they only get one die just because of that 6 modifier or whatever. And no hits whatsoever. So we'll take away 4. One of them was, 2 of them are 6, so they have to eliminate their armor. And so now they take 3 more. So this 5 will drop to a 2. And now we take no hits. And not only that, we're going to advance after combat because they took more hits than us. Therefore, they have to retreat. They have a duty to retreat. So they're going to go ahead. They're going to retreat to, let's see, they'll retreat to this Kalinin here. Get some forces here. Did I eliminate enough of them? Yeah, I did. Okay. Retreat to Kalinin. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to move in to Moscow. We'll go ahead and leave 3 behind here in Vyazma, so that way we don't lose our have our supply lines cut. So go ahead and retreat there. So we have taken Moscow. The game is not over at all. For an automatic victory, I think you have to have Leningrad, Berlin, Moscow, and Baku way down here. And I find it really hard to get over there. So yeah, definitely the game is not over yet. May have been an ahistorical result here, but trust me, the game is not over yet. Let's see here. So was that our 1 attack, right? Yep. So that was our 1 attack. So we're going to discard him. Now it's over to the Soviet turn. When I forgot with our last card, we should have flipped over our aircraft here. That's my mistake. So the Axis, remember we would have flipped them for move for like a strategic movement. Well, they're back. They're good now. So they'll be good for next turn. Basically, once you draw a next card, before you play it, you go ahead and look, and anyone you have flipped over, let that like airfield side, go ahead and flip them back over. So, all right. Let's go ahead and look at the Russians here. Top 3. All right, so go ahead. A, and D. So they want to play the rail card. And they went through. You have to shuffle these. So move up to 10 units, any combination of infantry, armor, air, any distance, any control areas, any other friendly control areas within the Soviet Union. So now remember, their goal here is to retake Moscow. So move up to 10 units. We go ahead and look at their goals. Remember, we looked at them before, it didn't matter. Well, now it does. Obviously, retake Moscow and Leningrad. They still have Leningrad, but they just lost Moscow, so they know they got to move troops up to retake it. So what they're going to do is they're going to start getting some more forces up there. They're going to go ahead, see, up to 10 units, any combination, any distance, any friendly control. So they can just load up. So that's what they're going to do. So for instance, they have 6 here in Kazan. They're going to move all 6 to this Kalinin. So 6 plus, there's already, 3 there. So it's 9. Perfect. That was 6. They can move 4 more. They'll move 1 from Gorky. Move him to Kalinin as well. Makes 10 there. Move 3 more. So it's Penza. I'll go ahead and move him to Ryazan. And I go ahead and move. Let's see, because I moved from 4, 5. So that was 2 more. From Rostov here. Move him up to here. And from Stalino, which is a sweet name for a place, by the way. Move him up here as well. So that was what? 1, 2. I think that was 10. Hopefully it was. Whatever. I'm not going to double check. So that was it. So they're moving up. That's all he can do when he moves. There's no attacks on here. They do have, Winter Offensive as historical. That is a card that comes up eventually. So we'll go ahead and worry about that later. I'm just looking through quick. Yeah. Winter counteroffensive, that'll be later once it gets to that point. So, okay, go ahead and discard that one. Now it goes over to the Germans. German turn here. So that leaves 3. All right. Wounded offensive, rail, or Luftwaffe. Man. I think they want to attack. Yeah, they want to try to take Leningrad. So, try to look at this for a second here. All right, we're going to go ahead and do... Oh, man. I don't know. Yeah, let's do Luftwaffe. Luftwaffe. All right, let's go ahead and do a... Luftwaffe, I keep saying it. I don't know, I like saying that. Go ahead and roll these up. So, activate 1 area for movement, attack 1 area, attack rolls 1 extra die, and place 1 German land air in Berlin. So, Luftwaffe. Activate 1 area for movement. Let's go ahead and activate... Let's go ahead and activate our guys here in Rovno. We're going to go ahead and move them to Kiev. So Rovno gets a control marker. All right. Attack 1 area. Let's go ahead and attack Leningrad. So they have 1 air and 8 infantry. We have a couple air, 4 tanks, and 4 infantry. So go ahead and look at our air. They got 1, we have 2. So go ahead and eliminate their 1. Eliminate 1 of ours. We still have 1. So get our dice ready here. So that is 1 die. Let's minus 1 die for air superiority. Armor, we have 4. They have no armor, so that's another die for armor advantage. And then we look, we have 8 total, divided by 2 is 4, so 4 more dice. Plus we get an extra die from our Ledford card, so let's keep that in mind. So roll an extra one if we need it, which we will definitely want it because they have 8 units here. They have 8 divided by 6, so they actually roll 2 dice now. What do you know? Or the rare times that during 1941 they actually roll more than 1 die. So let's go ahead and roll all these at once, and then remember we'll get 2 more. Was it 2 more? Hang on. 1 for air, 1 for armor, and then 8, 4, so 6, 7. So we have 1 more. Yeah, 1 more. Sorry, I don't want to cheat. 1 more. Ooh. They did inflicted 2 hits. We inflicted 3 hits. One of theirs was a 6. So 3 hits versus 2. Let's roll 1 more die. A 6. So 4 hits total. All right, so they're 2. One of them's a 6, which means we have to eliminate one of our armor. Bummer for us. And then the other ones we can do where we want, so we'll just take away an infantry. Perfect there. So we took 2 hits. They took 4. So then go ahead and eliminate all these and then down to 4. So we'll have 4 infantry left. And then the way it's going to work here is we inflicted more hits than them. Therefore, we get to force retreat, which we are going to take Leningrad. So we're going to force them to retreat. They're going to retreat to Novgorod. So we're going to go ahead and move. We'll leave 2 left. Actually, we'll leave 1 behind, I think, right? Yeah, there we go. Okay, sorry. And then we'll take Leningrad with the rest. And there we go. We have Leningrad. So now, for victory point purposes, or for, automatic victory, we have Berlin, Leningrad, Moscow. We don't have Grozny yet. We would need Grozny, to capture Grozny to get a automatic victory here. So, all right, so we did our attacks. Place 1 German land area in Berlin. Go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and discard this card. Go over to the Soviets, their side. So they're going to go ahead and flip their cards over. So they have no D cards, no defensive cards. However, the closest would be a B. This is basically be like defensive, balanced attack. So then go ahead and play Leningrad reserves. Which came just literally 1 turn too late for them. Bummer. Leningrad reserve is normally a great card if they can play it earlier. Activate 1 area for movement. Place 5 Soviet infantry in Leningrad if Soviet controlled. Fortunately for them, we just took it. Otherwise, place them in Kazan. You may place this card in front of you. If you do, you may discard it after an axis attack as a card in Leningrad only. Regardless of losses, Axis units cannot advance, and there's no retreat. So what we're going to do is activate 1 area for movement. We're going to go ahead and activate Stalingrad here. I'm going to go ahead and move this infantry. Actually, hang on a second. No, what we're going to do is activate Varennes here. We're going to go ahead and move this infantry over to Kursk. There we go. All right. Place 5 Soviet infantry in Leningrad if Soviet control. Otherwise, place 5 in Kazan. So we're going to place them back here. You may place the card in front of you if you do. You may discard after an axis attack as declared in Leningrad only. We'll do that. We'll leave it in front of us. Obviously, I don't think we're going to be able to retake Leningrad. Maybe. Probably not, though. As the Soviets, I don't think we're going to be able to. So I think what's going to happen is it's going to end up being the kind of useless, unfortunately for them. But hey, that's also the way the cards work. So it's part of the game, right? There's some randomness. It's not going to have 100% historical every time. So, all right, we're done there. Let's go ahead and go over to the Germans. Get their 3 here. Let's see what we got. I suppose you do that. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to do Blitz Guderian, and then we'll do limited offensive as well. I think that'll be what we'll do. Yep. I'm going to place this one back over here. All right. So, Blitz, attack 3 areas, activate 3 areas for movement, excuse me. These are going to be able to move. Do move, move, and move. All right, so let's go ahead and activate Vostok here. Go ahead and move these guys as aircraft, because I think we're at 1 aircraft up here. Yep, let's go ahead and move him. 1, 2, 3. He just has to flip over to strategic movement, move aside. So reinforce Leningrad with him. And then this infantry here at Königsberg, let's go ahead and move him to Vostok. Let's go ahead and leave him there. Oh, so we can move 1, he's only infantry. And then this air, these 2 airs. We got air here. Let's go ahead and move 1 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4 up to Riga. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 to Brest. Try to reinforce down there. Perfect. Moved. All right, those are our movements. And we can attack 4 areas. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and attack Novgorod here from, well, it'll be from all adjacent, but we're going to do, obviously from Leningrad will be the primary attack. And then we'll go ahead and attack, let's see, attack this Dnipropetrovsk. We'll attack, what's that up here? Kalinin. And we'll attack Kharkov as well. Okay, yeah, those will be good. Okay, perfect. All right, so let's go our first attack. Novgorod here. Attacking any adjacent, which is Leningrad. 1 aircraft, 3 armor, and 2 infantry. Attacking Novgorod's 4 infantry. So we have air superiority. We have armor advantage. And then our 2, 3, 4, 5 divided by 2 is 2.5. Up to 3. So we get a total of 5 dice to roll. Soviets, they have 4 divided by 6, 1 die to roll. So 5 versus their 1. All right, they inflicted no hits. We inflicted 2 hits. So they're going to lose 2. So their 4 drops to a 2. And then we suffered no hits, right? Yep. So we're definitely going to advance. So they are forced to retreat. They're going to go ahead and retreat to this Kalinin here. I think they got to hang on and see if they have stacking. 1, 2, 3, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yep. It's perfect. We'll go ahead and move in there. We'll leave behind our aircraft. There. Yep. All right. So we've taken over there. Now we're going to go ahead and do our attack on Kalinin. We cannot do the attack there. We'll leave that marker there. Attack has to come from adjacent. It can't come from this Novgorod guys, though. So what we're going to do is, because they just basically were part of already, their own attack into that area, so they don't get to attack. However, the Russian infantry that retreated does get to be part of the defense. Not the numbers, but the actual like results. If that makes sense. So anyway, basically we set him aside. So what they have is let's see, what was it, 2, 3, 8, 9, 10. So they have 10. We're attacking from our Moscow and Vyazma here. So we have 1 air, 4 armor, 5, and then 5 and 3 here as well. So, all right. So we have air superiority. We have armor advantage. And then we're going to have a total of, let's see, 3, 4, let's see, 9, 10, 11, 12. We'll go back to 6. So here's 4. We get 2 more dice as well. We get 2 more after this. They're going to have a total of 2 dice of their own. So let's roll theirs first. They're 2 dice. Okay, so they get 1 hit. 1 hit on me. I get this and 2 more. So only 1 hit. Bummer. And then 2 more dice. Two more hits. So a total of 3. All right, so they get 1 hit on me, which we'll go ahead and, oops, not these guys. Let's get rid of this. Move him down to 2. I do 3 hits on them, which they'll take out of their new guys. 2, and then another one as well. Now, since I inflicted more hits, they're going to have to retreat. At this point, they only have a couple areas to retreat to. Try to consolidate their forces a little bit. So, go ahead and have them retreat up to Yaroslavl. And we're going to go ahead and move this infantry up here to Kalinin to kind of take that from our advance after combat. So, all right, not too bad. And that was our last attack. Oh, sorry, we have 2 more attacks. I don't even know what I'm thinking here. All right, so we got our full blitz we're doing here. All right, so we're attacking Kharkov as well. Our units adjacent are in Kiev here. So we have a couple aircraft, we have a couple tanks, some infantry. All right, so we have air superiority, we have armor advantage, we have, let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 by 2, 2.5, round up to 3, so 3 dice. So we total 5 dice. They only have 1 guy, so they get 1 die. Now we're ready to round up. No hits for them, 2 hits for me. So it does eliminate their unit in Kharkov here, which then we get to go ahead and definitely going to move into Kharkov. So Kiev gets control markers, so we left it behind. All right, then we'll do the final attack against Dnepropetrovsk from Odessa, which is aircraft and a bunch of infantry versus 3 infantry. So, I'll get 1 die. We'll get 1 die to roll. We will have air superiority, and then 3, no armor, and then 2, 3, 4. 5 by 2 is 2 more dice. So we roll 3 versus their 1. Wow. Okay, so they get 1 hit. Bummer on us. We're going to remove this Romanian infantry. Sorry, guys. And then, actually, there's 6. They're going to take our aircraft out. Oh, bummer. So we get our Romanian infantry back. Yay. But then the aircraft is destroyed. So, bummer. They shot them down with their crappy Soviet rifles. And then we got 3 hits. So all 3 of theirs are eliminated. So we get to go ahead and move in from Odessa up to Donetsk, whatever it is. And we'll go ahead and leave a control marker behind. All right, and that was our blitz card. Go ahead and discard that. And we got to play another non-blitz card. We do a limited offensive. Activate 1 area for movement. Attack 1 area. So for movement, we'll go ahead. We'll activate Kharkov here for movement. Yeah. And we'll go ahead and move everyone down to Stalino here. Kharkov. I'll leave a control marker behind. Also forgot, because I was having so much fun playing, I forgot. We took, so how many, we have to find out how many VP areas of the Russians we took, because we only marked them down once. We clearly have taken more than 1. So for instance, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. So they've marked down, actually we're down at 10 build points here. So, because we have been stomping them over here. So, all right, limit offensive, we did our movement. We already did our movement. Now we have to attack 1 area. Let's go ahead. Let's see what else we want to attack. We're kind of doing pretty good here. Let's go ahead and attack this Vestpol, because we want to see if we can kind of get rid of them, move them out of the way. You know what I mean? So our attack there. Gonna put a marker down. So we have a bunch of infantry. That's okay though. 4 infantry versus their 1. So we get to roll 2 dice. They roll 1. See what happens. All right, so they got a hit and we got a hit. So we'll remove one of our Romanian infantry. Remove them. Obviously, they're eliminated. So we get to go ahead and move in to Vestpol. Go ahead and take over down there. We'll move a little marker here. All right, and that was our limited offensive card. And check, see what they got left. Okay, all right. Now the Soviets over here. Go ahead and call. I'm going to take a little break here. Excuse me while I pause the video. Alright, sorry about that, everyone. We're back. I'm going to go ahead and try to rush through the rest of this. I mean, I'm not trying to rush per se, but I did forget how long the first turn takes just because there's a lot of stuff going on, especially with the, Germans getting all their extra tax and stuff like that. So apologies for that. Let's go ahead and just kind of buckle down here and get through the rest of it. Again, I did not mean for this video to be so long. Just forgot that the first turn does take a little while. So, alright. So we just did our Axis attack. Yep. So we'll go ahead on to the Soviet turn. They have, so there's 3 cards here to choose from. Now here's the mud one. Here's where it'll work. Here's where it'll start really slowing down the Axis anyway. So, these go over here. What they will have is this the Rasputsia, which is the mud, Russian mud. Play if there are 3 or less cards in the Axis hand. The Axis only have 2 cards left. So, for the rest of the year, each Axis card with movement activations has its number reduced by 1 to a minimum of 1. Army units may limit 1 area, cannot overrun, are ignored when calculating armor advantage. Only 1 Axis. Air unit may be used to support combat per card play. Okay, so we'll kind of set it over here. So that'll be their card play. So now let's go ahead back to the Germans. Germans only have the 2 cards left. We'll go ahead and look at them. Go ahead and do Tactical Reposition, which allows place this card in front of you. After your opponent has finished moving, but before he or she declares any attacks, may discard it to move with 2 Axis infantry or Axis armor. These units may only pass through or enter friendly controlled areas. So, just get a little tactical movement there. We'll go ahead and play that. So now we'll go back to the Russians. We're running out of room here for our cards to set them out. Alright. So we have Moscow Reserve, Ukrainian Reserves, Winter Counteroffensive. So we're not going to do the Winter Counteroffensive because that's A. It's actually supposed to be B, but we're not going to do it anyway. The designer, it's listed as an A. The designer said he was going to make it more of a, he was making a B instead, but we're not going to count it because once they do that, that's the end of the turn for the Russians. So, Moscow Reserves, Ukrainian Reserves, one of these. Let's go ahead and roll. Do odds even. Odds. So Moscow Reserves, 1 active for movement. Go and activate Kazan, so we can move his Gorky infantry. Place 7 Soviet infantry as you like in Moscow, Gorky, or Kubiachev, which is right here. So obviously Moscow is Axis control, so they can't do that. Oops, I'm going to put that back over there. And now what we're going to do is we're going to discard, we're going to do our tactical reposition for the Germans here. Place this card in front of you after your opponent has finished moving, because we did our movement for the Russians. You may discard this to move up to 2 Axis infantry or Axis armor. Go ahead and discard that bad boy. So basically, like I said, it is just a repositioning. So, what is it again? You can move up to 2 Axis infantry or Axis armor. These may only pass through or enter friendly controlled areas. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and move. We have our guys here in Novgorod, 2 of them. Let's go ahead and move these 2 armor to Kalinin. Yeah, let's do that. Well, actually, hang on. What do we got back here? Go ahead and start moving some of these guys. So we'll go ahead and move this infantry here at Vostok. Move them to Minsk. Perfect. 2 of them, though. Only 2 of them. Ah! Oh, it's too many. Get all messed up here. There we go. All right. We got it. Settle down, everybody. Settle down, everybody. There we go. Okay, perfect. All right. I think these guys should have been moved back too, or flipped over, I should say. So, all right. Now the Russians get to play 7 Soviet infantry. Moscow has already taken Gorky, so Gorky, go ahead and add. We had all 7 to Gorky. Puts it 12 there, stacking limit. Basically, ton of infantry. They're coming up. Reinforcements. They're hurrying. They're on foot, apparently. All right, so go ahead and discard that card. Okay, so that is the Germans get to go. Their last turn. Their last card, I should say, is Rail. Move up to 5 Axis units. Any distance from any friendly control area to any other friendly control area without passing through enemy control area. So basically, kind of like that tactical reposition a little bit. They're going to go ahead and start moving their forces around to wherever they need to. So let's go ahead and move, let's see, 1. Move him to Leningrad as support. 2. 3, 4. And 5 in there as well. So, all right, that's it. Reinforced our fronts a little bit here. And that's going to be it for the Germans. They're done. That's our last card for 1941. So now it's the Soviets. A few cards left here. So what they're going to do, go ahead. They have 3 left. So I'm going to place these 3 out here. That'll be, you play the Bs first. Like I said, I want to play this one because this is the, after we play this one, they're done. So what we're going to do is they're going to do Ukrainian reserves for sure, which will be activate 1 area for movement. They're going to activate Gorky, and they go ahead and move all those guys to Vladimir here. Place 4 Soviet infantry as you like in Kiev, Kharkov, Stalino, Rostov, Novosibirsk, or Stalingrad. If any are Soviet controlled, none of them, place them in Kazan. Now, they are, see, Kiev is not controlled. Kharkov, not controlled. Stalino, that's where we're at now, not controlled. Rostov is controlled, and they want to go ahead and try to stop. They can see the Germans are moving towards, so they're going to go ahead and put their 4 guys in Rostov here. All right. So for that, now goes to the Germans. Germans have to pass. They don't have any cards. Goes back to the Soviets. Soviets have their 2. They're going to go ahead and do a disorganized attack and then winter counteroffensive next turn. So organized attack right now. They're going to attack 1 area. Now remember, they want to, one of their goals are going to be retake Moscow, retake Leningrad. Obviously, they have no chance to get Leningrad, but Moscow, they have semi-surrounded, so they're definitely going to go ahead and try to retake that. So they're going to launch an attack against Moscow. So what we'll do is go ahead, look at their units. They have a total of 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 21, 22, 23, 24. They have 25 infantry and nothing else. So 25 divided by 6. Was that a little over 4? Round up so they get a 5th. So they're going to roll 5 dice, which is pretty awesome. For defending the Germans here, we have a couple aircraft. We get our armor, or excuse me, air superiority. We have some armor and a little bit of infantry. So for armor, we're going to go ahead and get our armor advantage as well. Now we calculate our ground forces. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 divided by 2 is 4.5. Round up to 5. So we have 5. So we get an extra die here. So let's go ahead and do the Germans first. An extra die. So 1, 2 hits, and roll 1 more for another hit. All right. Soviets get to roll 5. Let's see what they do. Let's cock die. We roll that one. 5 hits. So, including a 6. So 5 to 3. So, let's go ahead and knock off the 3 of the theirs. Get rid of these guys. Oops. All right, and then we, the Germans, take 5 hits, including 6. So one of them has to be an armor. So 1 armor. So I only take 4 more hits. I should reduce this 5 infantry down to a 1. And now the Germans have taken more hits than the Russians. Therefore, the Germans have to retreat. So they are forced to retreat out of Moscow. And they'll retreat up to this Kalinin up here to join forces with that infantry. So Russians will go ahead and advance after combat. They're going to start moving their guys in. We got 10, let's see, 11, 12. There we go. Actually, here we go. What they're going to do is 10, 12. Boom. All right, so the Russians have taken back Moscow. Good job, Russians. All right, now no cards left for the Axis. They pass. So now the Russians have to do their winter counteroffensive as well. Activate 2 areas for movement, which a ton of areas, but that's okay. I'll do activate Kursk and this Ravazin or whatever. 2, 5, 6, 10, 12. So Ravazin are going to move over to Tula. And they're activating Kursk here. They're going to move it down to Kharkov, which then means they take back Kharkov. So since they regained, which by the way, I keep forgetting, so this is one of the downsides, stuff like this, I forgot. They took Moscow and Kharkov, so their build points go from 11, or we're at 10, back up to 11, back up to 12. So, okay. All right, that was the move counter. All right, now they get to attack 3 areas. For each of these attacks, Axis units must retreat if at least 1 Soviet unit survives. So, they're going to do all their attacks for sure. They're going to attack the Kalinin or whatever here. They're going to attack Stalino here. I think that may be it, actually, because they don't really have anywhere else they have adjacent. No, they don't. So that's good, though, for them. They don't care. All right, so mass attack here, up here in the Stalino. So go ahead and check for our Germans. We have air, we have armor, we have some infantry. So we're going to have the air superiority, and we're going to have armor advantage, because all they have is infantry. But they do have a boatload of infantry. So they're going to have 12, 13, 14, 15, 20. So 20 divided by 6 is 3, just over 3. So they'll have 4 dice total. Round up. Well, these 2 plus 3, 4, 5, 6. So by 2 is 3. So 3 more. We'll have 5 dice versus their 4 dice. All right, we'll inflict 1 hit. They'll inflict 3, including on our armor. So on our armor, and then 2 more. So we were to 2 of our infantry. All right. And we inflicted 1 hit on them. 1? Yeah, that was it. Terrible rolling. So they'll go ahead and they'll laugh at their human wave attack as they're 1 of their 20 infantry. And, well, here's the deal. If at least 1 Axis, not only did they won the combat anyway, but also, according to the card, as long as they had, any surviving units, they could have to force me to retreat. So, let me get these dice out of here. Dice. We have to retreat, so we got to get out of there. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and retreat down to this whole miasma here, whatever it is. And they're going to go ahead and move up. They don't want to lose Moscow here, so I'm not going to move everybody. Go ahead and move all these guys from the Yaroslav. And move these guys over here. Perfect. All right, now we'll do our attack down here in Stalino. We have our 2 air, couple armor, a little infantry guys. I don't know. Let's see what happens. So, all right. So we have our air superiority. So that's 1. We have armor advantage. That's 2. And then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Divided by 2 is 4. So that's these. So we get all of our dice here. Let's roll. They'll be attacking from Rostov and Kharkov. Total of 5 divided by 6. So they get 1 die. So totally different up here. Or down here, I should say. Right, let's see. They get 1 hit, and we got only 1 hit. Crazy. Okay. So 1 hit. They're going to go ahead and reduce the Rostov guy from 4 to 3. All right, and we took 1 hit as well. So we'll go ahead and eliminate this Hungarian infantry. Sorry, brother. All right, so normally you'd be like, well, Axis win ties. But remember, the card, winner of counteroffensive, they get to push us back no matter what. As long as there's any surviving. Oh my god. Sorry. Playing with stacks of counters, the most fun part of watching a video. So, alright, we'll go ahead and call that. So go ahead and they're going to push us back. So we're going to retreat. Go ahead and retreat back here to the Nasoprosk here. So, I'll retreat on there. Alright. So they get to go ahead and move up. So go ahead and move up this from Rostov here, which they do take back another one of their areas. So that was winter counteroffensive. That was last attack, and that was it. So that is it for 1941. You check for victory, which automatic would be, if I had Baku, Moscow, Leningrad, Berlin. Well, I control 2 of them. I do not control Moscow anymore. I never got to Baku at all. So we determine now we look at kind of our country control, all that. I'm going to put this bad boy back over. And let me make sure on the victory point areas here. So we took 1, 2, 3 from them. Because they ended up taking several of them back, right? I think so. So 1, 2, 3. Only 3. So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we have it right. So they went from 16 down to 13 build points. And we still have our regular. So, all right. Year change, production. So it's, 1942. Check our production here. That's how many cards. We go ahead and we buy our cards based on the cost in the corner, based on how many production points we have. You can see some cards are 0, so you're basically always going to probably buy them. And then cards like, say, winter counteroffensive is 3. It's okay, so I want to spend, out of my 13 build points, so I want to spend it. There you go. So if you made it all the way through this video, I appreciate it. Appreciate you watching. It did not intend to be this long. But as you can see, even though initially we made it farther than the Germans did historically, captured Moscow, they were able to push us back out of Moscow, push us back here. So we're not really that close to like Baku, close to here at the Caucasus. And we're definitely, we're pushed up. We got Leningrad here, but we're not even close to Stalingrad. So it's a whole different, different situation than you might have expected it to be halfway through. So hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed watching this game in action. It is a lot of fun. I think I struggled a little bit with some of the card play. Just doing it while I'm filming is sometimes a little bit harder. But when you're just playing yourself, it's real easy. You're moving counter, you're moving little stacks around. Super easy. You play super quick. You're playing your cards. You're looking at them. Well, what do I want to do best? So, next. I have a lot of fun with it. I do really like this one. There are a couple flaws, sometimes messing with the stacks of counters, the way it works, it's a little tedious, especially swapping out 2, 3, this and that. It'd be a little tedious, just because you're kind of getting these big stacks. Then you saw kind of messing with the dice. It's a bucket of dice, which on one hand, it can be really fun when you're rolling dice. On the other hand, it can be a little annoying sometimes when you're trying to struggle to roll 500 dice, especially if you use a dice tower. Or if you're going to put them on here, where you're going to roll them. If you don't have a dice tower, you're going to roll them over here. You're going to have cards, and chits all over the place. So couple little things like that, little opportunities for the game where it's like, okay, maybe this could have been handled better, although I'm not sure how. But that said, the game itself is a lot of fun. And I thought if you look through, and this is, again, not to focus too much on what people say online, because we know how that goes, but I've seen a lot of comments from people that the fact that it's not historical at all these things. Well, I'm not saying it's exactly historical. I mean, it is an abstracted game here, right? But I don't think it's exactly crazy to see what has happened, how it's gone down. Even just this turn that I just ran through, I think played out pretty well. I think there's a lot of good reasoning for why the things happened the way they did. And that's the reason why I like the game. It does have some history to it, especially when you're playing the cards, you're reading the cards, you get to see, the pictures on them and things like that. I really like it. Adds a little history, adds a little chrome to it, a little more that you get just from the gameplay itself, which is rather simple. But for this type of game, I think it works. So anyway, again, hope you guys liked it. If you did, please leave a comment, thumbs up, and subscribe if you haven't. I already told you, but do it. Please do it. All right, till next time, guys. Later.